Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats and jumping straight into a fascinating language mystery based on our source material from Megagoal 3.2. We're looking at Lost and Found, the case of the missing watch. And, it's not just a simple story about a missing item, it's actually a really brilliant way to uncover some incredibly useful, authentic English expressions along the way. So let's dive right in. Before we get into the facts of the case, I want you to think for a quick second. Have you ever had something genuinely valuable just vanish into thin air, just completely disappear? Take a moment and try to remember that exact feeling. You know the one, the sudden, frantic pat down of your pockets, the racing heart, the sheer panic of losing a prized possession. We've all been there, right? It's a completely universal experience. And because it's so universal, the English language has developed some highly specific, really emotionally charged idioms to describe exactly what we go through in that terrifying moment. Meet our two main characters from today's case file. First, we have Mohammed, who is clearly deeply troubled and currently experiencing that exact panic we just talked about. And then we have his good friend and incredibly helpful sidekick, Abdullah. Abdullah is stepping up to help Mohammed logically retrace his steps to figure out what on earth happened. And here is the object at the center of our mystery, a beautiful watch. But it's not just any watch. Mohammed loves this piece because it was a beloved gift from his parents. This brilliantly illustrates why the stakes are just so high here. He isn't simply looking for a random piece of jewelry, he's looking for something with immense sentimental value. Section 1. Real talk, expressing frustration. So as Mohammed processes this agonizing loss, he drops some major emotional clues using some really dynamic English idioms. First up, his friend Abdullah notices something is wrong and points out that something is eating him. In conversational English, if something is eating you, it means it's deeply, persistently bothering you. It's totally consuming your thoughts, much like Mohammed obsessing over where he could have possibly left that prized watch. And honestly, you can't really blame the guy for feeling down in the dumps. When you're down in the dumps, you're feeling intensely sad and disappointed. It's that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest when you realize something precious is gone. It's a highly visual idiom, too. You can practically picture someone slumping over, just completely defeated by their bad luck. But sadness isn't the only emotion at play here. What happens if his parents find out he lost their gift? Well, Mohammed is terrified they're gonna hit the roof. To hit the roof means to be violently, explosively angry. Just imagine a cartoon character getting so incredibly mad that they literally blast right through the physical ceiling of a room. That is the exact level of sheer, rapid-fire anger this phrase conveys. Abdullah can clearly see his friend is bent out of shape. If you look at someone and they're frantically pacing around, totally stressed out, and genuinely agitated, they are bent out of shape. Their normal, relaxed self has been physically twisted into a tight ball of anxiety. The crucial point here is that Mohammed is visually projecting his intense distress for everyone to see. And the reason he's so severely bent out of shape? Because, as far as Mohammed knows, the watch has vanished into thin air. It has completely disappeared without a single trace. 1 minute it was perfectly safe, and the next, poof, nothing. It is the ultimate linguistic magic trick for a mysteriously lost item. Section 2. Retracing steps, solving the case. So Abdullah steps in as the practical voice of reason to help Mohammed systematically walk backward through his timeline. Through their structured conversation, the actual sequence of events is finally uncovered. Step 1. Mohammed suddenly remembers he actually left his watch on top of the medicine cabinet in his bathroom. Step 2, he left his house and got to work. Step 3, only upon arriving at work did he finally realize it was missing. Boom, mystery solved. Abdullah's logical prompting helped him remember exactly where he placed it. It didn't vanish into thin air after all. It was literally just sitting comfortably on the cabinet the whole time. Section 3. Case Files, Other Lost and Found Tales. Now, Mohammed's watch isn't the only missing item in our source material. Let's examine two parallel stories for comparison. We have David, who lost his dog Max, and Mariella, who lost her cell phone. One is a living, breathing companion, and the other is a vital piece of modern technology. Yet the sequence of losing them and finding them reveals some really interesting details. Let's look at the details. Max the dog simply disappeared. But amazingly, he came home when he heard a cell phone ringing, and thankfully, David had a computer ID chip put inside him. Mariella's incident is quite different. She dropped her phone on the beach. In a stroke of pure serendipity, a woman found it, scrolled through the photos, and actually recognized a bridesmaid in the pictures. She was able to return it to Mariella's sister's friend. And Mariella's foolproof future prevention plan? She says she's just going to tie the phone to her pants with a string. Okay, a bit extreme maybe, but you really can't argue with her logic.
Section 4. Viewer Challenge. Building your vocabulary.
We've been tracking context clues all throughout these lost and found stories today. Now it's your turn to test your own language detective skills. We have a quick matching challenge straight from our source material. I'm going to introduce 6 vocabulary words, and I want you to mentally try to match them with their correct meanings before I reveal the answers. Get ready!
All right, let's see how you did. Here are the answers. Let's walk through them together. Accustomed means being used to something. An appraiser, now this is a highly specific word, is someone who determines the exact value of an item, much like you might need for an expensive lost watch. An astronomer is a scientist who studies outer space. Authentic means something is completely real, not fake. To stumble upon something means you find it totally by chance, much like that woman stumbling upon Mariella's phone at the beach. And finally, wedged means something is stuck tightly between two things. So, how many of those did you lock in correctly?
So what is our ultimate takeaway from all this? Well, by framing these everyday situations as contextual mysteries, by tracking down clues to solve where a watch or a phone went, we do so much more than just read a textbook. We discover authentic English. Learning idioms like down in the dumps or hit the roof through a strong, relatable narrative makes them infinitely more memorable. It just makes the language come completely alive. Which brings me to my final question for you. Next time you lose something, and let's be honest, at some point we all absolutely will, which idiom are you going to use to describe your panic? Will you be bent out of shape? Will you furiously claim it vanished into thin air? Keep these phrases in your back pocket so you're ready to express exactly how you feel. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your valuables safe and secure, and I will catch you next time.